Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. On Tuesday afternoon, the Biden administration had Donald Trump arrested. It was a pretty big news story. You may have seen it.
Now that Tucker Carlson has left Fox, he's doing what we might just call absolutely crushing it. For God's sakes, welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend, where we do like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants because they deserve it. We like to shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters. There's an amazing freedom fighter named Tucker Carlson. Ever hear of him? He doesn't work for Fox anymore. So after it's been probably about 2 months or so at this point that Fox fired Tucker Carlson, obviously he wasn't very good at his job. He deserved to be fired. He was only the highest rated news anchor in the whole freaking country, maybe the whole world. Tucker is now releasing his independent shows on Twitter, which is basically usually about a 15-minute long talk to the camera, rundown on a specific topic, potentially tying multiple topics in with a golden thread. It's beautiful. He is absolutely crushing it. I want to talk about his view counts, which are insane. He is blowing Fox out of the water. He's blowing his performance on Fox out of the water, and he's blowing the entire network of Fox out of the water. But I think the biggest lesson here of Tucker crushing it on Fox is something you and I can learn from, and other freedom lovers can learn from. We'll get to that lesson in a second. But first, let's take a rundown Tucker's numbers on Twitter. Now, I'm sure the good people at Fox were hoping the case would be, dude, Tucker's gonna be nothing without us. He is nothing without Fox. He was getting 3.5 million views a night when he was on our network. So then they fire him, which I don't think was anything other than Fox wanted to protect an agenda that's more important to them than money. But they fire him. After a few weeks goes by, Tucker starts releasing his own just simple videos on Twitter. He's now 7 episodes deep, and Fox's potential hope of he'll be nothing without us. Not so much. Fox now has a lot less viewers, objectively so. And Tucker is doing what I predicted. I think I actually predicted it on this channel in a video. He is excelling without Fox. I always viewed Tucker being on Fox as just a mega star. No, megastar in the sense of standing for truth, earnestly seeking truth, earnestly exposing corruption. Same thing I try to do. He does it, obviously different than mine. But I looked at him being on Fox as a megastar being in a small box. Obviously, he was too big for that box because the box eventually broke. It couldn't hold him. It didn't want him. It just couldn't hold him. There's no ceiling on top of Tucker now. There's no restrictions, whether it's corporate restrictions, like him getting pressured. You can't talk about that. But also just the restrictions of you're on a cable news show that just people have lost faith in. People, whenever I watched Tucker on Fox, I didn't want to watch Fox. I just wanted to watch Tucker because Fox is just corporate news. All the CNN, CBS are all controlled by the same entities. I don't trust them. They're propagandists. They don't deserve our viewership. So now he's not limited by the platform. And by the way, like Fox, cool, you're only on at like 8 p.m., on for an hour. People have to tune in. You might not be able to watch on your phone very easily. So there's no restrictions, no ceilings anymore. Especially he's releasing his show on Twitter, and with the changes Elon's made, there's also no restrictions on what you can and can't talk about it because Twitter now, for the most part, does free speech. It's great. So Tucker is crushing it. He's getting way more views than on Fox, and he's basically able to live up to his potential, not be limited by Fox. So taking a look at these view counts of Tucker, so far he's released 7 episodes on Twitter, which, by the way, his episodes are better than they were on Fox. I'll share with you why I think that in a second. The most recent episode, episode 7, released 19 hours ago, already has 10.8 million views. That's cool. Episode 6, Bobby Kennedy is winning. 29.4 million views. Keep in mind, he was leading the world with viewership when he was on Fox, averaging about 3.5 million views per episode. It's just the most recent one, like he's tripled that almost in 19 hours. Cool. Episode 5, 16.6 million views. Episode 4, 31.9 million views. Episode 3, 103.2 60.2 million views. Holy Lord. Episode 2, 60.2 million views. Episode 1, 119.5 million views. Altogether, I did the math. Trust me, I'm a scientist. I did the math. Those first 7 episodes together have gotten 371.6 million views. Just to put that in perspective, our country has a population of roughly 330 million people, maybe 350 million people at the upper limit, maybe 700 million people when you factor in all the illegal immigrants that Biden's saying, come on over here. You're dangerous? Cool, come on in. We got a country for you to destroy over here. 371 million views. That is incredible. I would also admittedly say, especially for the early episodes, maybe all of them, but I would speculate Twitter is boosting that, not giving him artificial view counts, but basically boosting Tucker's show in the algorithm, showing it to more people, getting it in their feeds than, if I post a video on Twitter. There's a kind of the normal algorithm, and then social media companies, they can boost you. Like YouTube does it to Mr. Beast all the time. Rumble has done it for me. I've had people from Rumble reach out saying, cool, we're going to put some of your videos on the homepage on Rumble. And when they do that, it's getting a lot more views, usually like double the view count over a given period of time. I would suspect that's been happening with Tucker. That doesn't mean he hasn't earned these views. He has. People have watched. It's just Twitter's probably boosting him to get his shows in front of more people who can become potential viewers. I say that because, one, Tucker's branded his show, Tucker on Twitter. Twitter probably appreciates that. He's also somewhat close to Elon Musk. Tucker interviewed Elon for his old show on Fox, and we've heard like Elon and Tucker have had meetings. So it would certainly be in Twitter's best interest to have someone who people really want to watch get that in front of people, because when they're watching Tucker on Twitter, they're on Twitter. They're seeing more of the Twitter ads. Twitter makes more money. So it would make sense. And obviously it's a benefit for Tucker because more people who want to watch his show can actually see his show. Like, oh, I didn't know we released a new episode, but it's in my feed. My episode might not be in the feed. Cool. So I'd speculate that's probably happening now. Here's why I think his show is better on Twitter. He doesn't have to just dogmatically make a 1-hour show, or, with his commercials, that are on Fox. Maybe it was like a 40-minute show when you factor in the 20 minutes of pharmaceutical ads. It's great. That means I think the quality of the shows are better. Tucker just talks about exactly what he wants to talk about for only as long as it takes him to make his point in a way that satisfies him. So a lot of his episodes, just looking at them, this is a 12-minute episode, 13-minute episode, 13-minute episode, 13-minute episode, 18-minute episode, 12-minute episode. I love that because, when his show was on Fox, he had to fill an hour or the 40 minutes without pharmaceutical ads. And that's why, his opening monologues were usually the most popular parts of the show, which is basically what he's doing on Twitter. And then, there would have to be filler. Let's just say he had a 15 minutes worth of stuff he really wanted to talk about. Cool. Then you got to talk about another 25 minutes worth of stuff to fill the 40 minutes. And he'd have like quick interviews on with idiots like myself, which I'm super grateful for. But I'm guessing he was just doing a lot of that because he's dogmatically had to fill an hour. So I think a show on Twitter is objectively better. It's just more pure, more organic, without any kind of time constraints, upper limits or lower limits. And it is doing way better, getting view counts. 7 episodes, 371 million views. Here's, I think, the great episode for you and I and any other person who thinks freedom is a good thing, who has a message they want to share, who wants to be an empowered, sovereign individual. Here's the lesson. You don't need anybody. You just need yourself. When you've got the power of a social media app at your disposal to distribute your information. Obviously, there's restrictions on a lot of the platforms like YouTube, what you can't say. Twitter is largely very unrestricted now, as is Rumble. But this is showing, you don't need a big corporation. You don't need anyone other than you. But here's the kicker. If you have someone other than you, Now in the new paradigm that we're living in, that someone else, Fox and Tucker's case, it could be whatever other kind of middleman that we might think we need, that middleman probably holds us back a lot of times. The old paradigm, you had to have a middleman. Tucker would have to have Fox or another network because there wasn't Twitter for him to release his videos on. There wasn't Rumble for me to release my videos on. So this is a powerful lesson because for me, it's a lesson that there is more empowerment in decentralization. The more you can just flourish independently, the better it is for you because you remain more sovereign. You're not restricted by other people, nor is your success dictated for the better or worse by another person or another company, which it can also be scary for people because it's like, oh, now I'm 100% responsible for my own success or I'm responsible for my lack of success. Yes. And I think Tucker is demonstrating this beautifully. He is now as independent as it gets, and he is light years ahead of where he was on Fox. And as freedom lovers, I think we need to pay attention to that example of power in decentralization. I'm inspired by what Tucker's doing. I'm a bigger fan of how his shows are coming out. I'm a fan of him. I've met him on a number of occasions. I know where his heart is. And I think this is a very inspiring example for all of us. And I remember back when he was kicked off of Fox, there was a part of me like, dude, I kind of feel bad for him, but also like 90% of me was like, oh, I'm excited. This is going to be nothing but good for Tucker and good for the people that want to watch him. But more so than his success is the example of the empowerment through decentralization that he is showing us is not only possible, it's probable. As long as you're consistent and put your heart and soul into your work. I appreciate you watching this episode with me, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, where we get to check in on Tucker, learn and inspire ourselves by what's going on with him. I'm going to look forward to seeing you on our next video. But before you go, I do want to tell you about one of my favorite health hacks, and that's Sleep Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. Are you tired of tossing and turning all night and never getting a good night's rest? Well, you're not alone. Over 70 million Americans suffer from insomnia. That's why my friends from Bioptimizers have some good news for you. They've created Sleep Breakthrough, the ultimate solution for consistently getting the best night's sleep. Sleep Breakthrough is the first fully optimized, delicious sleep drink designed to help you fall asleep in minutes, experience deep, high-quality sleep, and wake up feeling refreshed and fully energized every morning. And if you do happen to wake up in the middle of the night, my experience is Sleep Breakthrough helps me fall back asleep in no time. This means you can say goodbye to laying awake in bed and stressing about when you're finally gonna drift off. And no more groggy mornings or feeling like you didn't get enough sleep. My experience as Sleep Breakthrough helps me feel and function my best every day because I get the best night's sleep possible. To learn more and to order now, go to sleepbreakthrough.com/JPReacts. And while you're there, be sure to use the discount code JPReacts10 for a special discount. Enjoy.